Does the executive you support hate your hotel or restaurant suggestions? Here are some tips I use to set myself up for success when booking travel or restaurants on behalf of my executive. The first thing you're going to want to do is understand your executive's preferences. So let's use the example of you're trying to book a restaurant on behalf of your executive because he's going to a client meeting. You want to set a meeting with your executive to understand what kind of restaurant does he like? Does he have any dietary restrictions? What are his top 3 restaurants? What restaurants does he hate? What type of vibe he likes? Does he like steakhouses? Does he prefer super healthy meals like Sweet Green, etc.? And you're going to write all this information down in your executive's dossier. This is your go-to manual that will contain all the information about the executive. So after you have all that information that you're going to continue to reference throughout your role, you're going to then do some research. So what you're going to want to do is go on Google. I love Google Maps. I always scope out the restaurant on Google Maps because it will show you the reviews. It will show you the photos. I always like to make sure I'm picking a restaurant that has at least 4 stars on Google. And then of course I'm looking at the photos. I'm looking at how the vibe of the restaurant. You want to make sure the vibe is appropriate for the type of meeting that your boss is having. If it's like a client, high profile client, you probably want to go a little bit more upscale. But if it's just like an internal lunch with one of his direct reports, it could be more casual. So you want to check the photos to make sure you understand the vibe of the restaurant as well. Once you've selected a spot, you're going to want to make a reservation. Restaurants these days, they all use like Resy or Open Table so that you can just easily make a reservation on your executive's behalf. And then it's easy to also modify or cancel. It's just like all web-based, which is pretty awesome. Once you have the reservation, you're going to want to put that information in your executive's calendar. I like to use, the title would be like dinner, client name, in parentheses, client company with my executive and our company name. And then in the description of the calendar invite, I'm going to put like reservation for 2 secured at the name of the restaurant. Usually I'll link the menu page of the restaurant in the description and then I'll save that so my executive knows exactly where he needs to go. So Google Maps is definitely key and great for research. And the same thing goes for hotels. Like I would do that same process, except that usually executives, they have loyalty programs that they like to use, whether it be like Marriott or Hilton. So if they have a hotel preference, definitely try to stick with that chain because they want to get the points. But of course you can still do some research on what the hotel looks like because not all Marriotts are the same, not all Hiltons are the same. So it's still good to get an understanding of what exactly the hotel looks like. It has good reviews, decent reviews on Google, good feedback, etc. So just do your research and then book. And then the last thing you'd want to do is solicit feedback afterwards. So casually, after the trip has passed, casually in your next one-on-one with your executive, you're going to want to be like, hey, so how was that restaurant? Did you like it? And if he says, oh yeah, it was awesome, add that to your list. So next time, like your executive has an important meeting, like a few months down the line, you can be like, oh, I already know where I'm going to book him, or you have a list of places that he likes, that he's vetted, and you can book, no problem. So definitely keep a list, ask feedback. If he's like, yeah, it was all right, then add a list, do not book list. And okay, next time, I'm not going to put him there. I've actually had an executive come to me and say, don't book that restaurant before. And you just take the feedback with grace, like you're human. You couldn't have known until you know, but just make sure you don't do it again. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Fumi, and I currently work from home making $160,000 as an executive assistant. And I'm here to teach you guys how to become a 6-figure executive assistant as well. So if you're interested in learning more, I do have a live course coming out called Executive Assistance 101, where I'll be teaching you all the skills, all the tips, everything you need to know, everything I learned to become the 6-figure executive assistant. Enrollment is open now, so go and secure your slot. The link is in my bio.